Welcome back, everybody. It's Specs, and today we're going to be going over my Week 6 match against the Sacramento Sea Kings, otherwise known as Ash Kuda. So we're just going to go over Kuda's draft in general, and then after that, we're going to go over the team that I built, and then we're just going to go straight into the replay. So let's just get started. So today we got a Tapu Fini for leading off in the first round pick. So Fini's obviously a very threatening Pokemon. Misty Surge is a great ability. Summoning Misty Terrain to block status is really good for it. Water Fairy typing is obviously a very good mon, and it's a legendary, so it's got good stats. Most common set right now is probably Calm Mind. With the new training kits that it got in Generation 8, it's able to set up pretty well, especially in conjunction with Taunt, stopping opposing setup, as well as opposing attempts to phase it or haze it. Last move probably would be your choice of water move on that one. You can run Scald to make use of it after Misty Terrain ends to burn things, or you can just run Surf with power. So that's a very solid set. You can also run utility as well. Got access to stuff like Knockoff and Defog and Nature's Madness, so very solid utility as well. And being very bulky and decently fast makes it reliable, pretty good at taunting slower walls. Very solid mon. And then the last set of note would probably be a Scarf set or Specs if you want to try that. So with Trick, it's able to cripple opposing walls with choice item of your choice. Anyway, and then it's got decent special attacks, so you can still exert a lot of offensive pressure. Water Fairy is pretty hard to switch into, unless you got like a very bulky grass type of your own. So gotta keep that in mind. Next up, we got Volcarona with heavy duty boots in this generation. It is probably the scariest setup sweeper we have currently in Gen 8 OU. Let me know if I'm wrong, but I mean, Garchomp might be scary too. But like, Volcarona is very, very scary. It's like that mod that can only 6-0 your team if you don't got a Heatran. Quiver Dance, obviously one of the best setup moves in the game. Basically half of a Geomancy, except Geomancy takes 2 turns. So if you ignore the fact that Power Up exists, Geomancy and Quiver Dance would kind of be the same thing. Quiver Dance, obviously, and then you got your choice of fire move. It's got a lot of fire moves to choose from, especially one that also raises your special attack by 1 stage about 50% of the time. And then you've got, obviously, Bug Stab. Mostly people just use Bug Buzz for the power. And then last move can be up to you. You can run Roost. You can run Giga Drain over even Bug Buzz. You can run Psychic. You can run Hurricane. It's even got Weather Ball if you want to try some rain stuff. So, yeah, pretty solid mod of Pokemon. Actually, wait, does it get Weather Ball? I'm pretty sure it does. Oh, wait, maybe it doesn't. Okay, I'm done. It doesn't get Weather Ball. So, forget that I said that. I thought I got Weather Ball. I think I was thinking about hitting Power Water. Okay, anyway. So, yeah, anyway, as I said, very solid mod. Next up, we got Excadrill. Even without Sand, it's a very threatening mon, but he does have Sand. He has a Mega Tyranitar, so Sand Rush is not fun. Sand Force is even less fun, and then Mold Breaker allows you to ignore Levitators, which is kind of what I expected him to bring. I expected him to bring Mold Breaker, but because I have like 3 Levitators. Anyway, so Excadrill, the most common set for sweeping is probably just Sword Stance, Earthquake, Iron Head, and then your choice of Rock Slide, or Rapid Spin. You can also run a Spadef set, or even physically defensive. That both of them work. You might not think like it can take a lot of special or physical hits, but with its really good HP, you can invest a lot into the defenses, and then it can take hits pretty well. So yeah, Ground Steel is also a decent typing as well. Allows you to like completely check things like Tapu Koko and stuff like that. So yeah, for the defensive set, you probably run like Stealth Rock, Rapid Spin. You probably still want Earthquake. Toxic is a viable option there. You can still keep Iron Head though. So yeah. Next up, we got Tangrowth, a very, very solid Pokemon. One of the better known Regenerator stall mons. It's not really stall mon though. You want to see it on stall. It's best used on balance just because it's a nice little pivot. For item, you probably either run Rocky Helmet or Assault Vest. You could run some other stuff too, but Rocky Helmet is probably generally preferred, especially in this meta. So with Rocky Helmet, you get access to Sleep Powder, which is kind of one of the main draws for Tangrowth. Excuse me. You can also have a pretty wide move pool. You know, you got Giga Drain, Earthquake, Knockoff, Rock Slide if you want to hit like bug types. Poison Jab as well. It's also got a good special move pool. It's got like Sludge Bomb. Focus Blast is pretty good for stuff like Kartana. And then you even got stuff like Stun Spore, Toxic, Synthesis, Swords. It's got a pretty wide move pool. Pretty good. And, you know, obviously with the stats, it's really, really bulky, so you can pretty much do a lot of stuff with it. If you had a Sunsetter, you can even use it as a Chlorophyll Sweeper, which is pretty cool. It's got good special attack and good attack. I mean, literally the only bad stats are his speed up and speed. So like, yeah, that's pretty much all I want to mention about it. Next up, we got Slowking Galar, another Regenerator Mon. Most famous set is probably its AV set, just being able to absorb a lot of special hits and dish out more damage in return. It's got access to Future Sight, which is probably one of the, well, it's not one of the best moves, but it's one of the most. It's part of one of the most annoying strategies, which is, you know, Future Sight plus Regen plus Teleport, which is not something Slowking Galar can do, actually. It does not get access to Teleport, but its slow brothers can, besides Slow Bro Galar. But yeah. Excuse me. You know, it's got a really wide move pool as well. You know, obviously you got Poison and Psychic moves, but you also got Flamethrower, you got Scald, you got Ice Speed, you got Earthquake if you want to hit Heatrands. So, yeah, very solid moves as well. It's got access to Nasty Plot, you can run Trick Room. Very, very wide move pool, basically. Especially offensively. So, next up, we got Tyranitar. Probably the most famous set is just the Dragon Dance Sweeper. You know, Dragon Dance, you got like Stone Edge, Fire Punch, Ice Punch, you got Earthquake, Crunch, Brick Break if you want to go with that, Aqua Tail, Dragon Claw. A lot of offensive moves. You can even run special with its. Oh, I accidentally deleted that. Give me a second. Okay, so you can even run special moves. You know, it doesn't have a lot of special attack, but you know, if you want to check some sort of physical wall that ties to wall you can do that. I've also. This is specific to the person I'm fighting, but I've also seen him experiment with Iron Defense Body Press, so gotta watch out for that as well. Next up, we got Thundurus, a very, very solid one. Prankster Thunder Waves is nothing to be take light of, I guess. It has decent coverage as well. You know, obviously electric moves. Unfortunately, no flying move to speak of, at least on the special side. But you got Sludge Bomb, you got Psychic, you got Focus Blast, and you got Grass Knot, so decent coverage on the special side as well. You can even try to run Physical since it's got setup moves on that side, like Bulk Up. Actually, no, it gets Nasty Plot too, doesn't it? Yeah, it gets Nasty Plot. So you can run setup on both sides. Yeah. So pretty solid mon, and it's also decently fast even without Prankster, so good speed cheer checking. Next up we got Audino, another count at third Regenerator mon that my opponent has. You know, I think Audino regularly probably is better than Mega Audino even in draft. Like, just like, you know, Regen is just such a good ability. You kind of want to just keep abusing that. Solid defensive stats. It's not the best, but it's not too bad. It's got access to Knockoff, and obviously Wish Protect is obviously really good. I don't know if that has access to Teleport. That doesn't matter. It's also got access to Heal Ball, making it a great Cleric. Like, the main problem with it is just that it doesn't exert a lot of pressure. But other than that, you know, pretty solid mon. Next up, we got Dusclops. With Eviolite, this mon is really, really bulky. You got access to Pain Split, which, while it might not be reliable recovery, it can still get you some health in a good amount of situations. You got access to Will-O-Wisp and Toxic. You can run Nightshade or Seismic Toxin. I mean, they're both kind of the same, so it doesn't really matter. You probably have access to Knockoff. Do you? Okay, maybe you don't. Yeah. I wouldn't really recommend running actual attacking sets on this, but you know, you could try to do it if you can. It's got a pretty wide move pool because, you know, Dusknoir does too. So yeah, I mean, it's all right. You can also set up Trick Room with it too, so it's pretty nice there. Last up, we got Vespiquen. You know, it's got boots, so it can at least ignore South Rocks like Volcarona. It's got okay stats across the board, but you know, can't expect too much out of this one. You can probably run like, I don't even know what you would run. I'm gonna be honest. Like Toxic, Grenadier Slash, it has U-turn at least, so you can pivot with it as well. If you have a good, if if the opponent has like a grass type doesn't have rock coverage, it's a pretty good wall for that. So stuff like that is pretty cool for it. I think it gets access to attack order as well because I don't think this. You know what? I'm not gonna delve into it. He didn't bring. I'm gonna be honest. He didn't. Be 100% real, did not bring Vespiquen, so I don't have to worry about it. I didn't expect him to bring Vespiquen in. Okay, so anyway, that's his entire team. Let's just quickly go over mine, and then we can get into the battle. So here we have a Landorus Therian. Just kind of gave leftovers from some overall bulkiness. I just wanted to run like a Fizz-Def Landorus because I was expecting a Moldbreaker Drill, so Landorus Therian became my only real primary check to it. Once I switch in on it, it's going to do like 23% with Iron Head, so it's not going to do too much. I got Knockoff, I got Earthquake, so energy turn, so pretty good coverage, I guess. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't know. I ran some Suspendef as well. This makes sure like I can definitely live a Volcarona Fire, like a max. Like a Volcarona Fire Blast, I can take one of those. +1 with my +1 Volcarona Fire Blast, like for sure. And then obviously I have Stone Edge to kill it, and then I have U-turn for pivoting. Next up we got Beedrill. I just kind of ran. It would be max attack, max speed if I didn't need to run max speed. So I just ran enough to outspeed his fastest Mon. Actually, no, I ran enough to outspeed a Jolly +1 Mega Tyranitar. That's kind of important calc. And then. Yeah, near max attack and just some HP. I just ran enough so that I wouldn't get 3 hit KO'd by a Nightshade from Dusclops. Next up we got Diancie. Stealth Rock, Diamond Storm, Body Press, and Mystical Fire. So Body Press was there for Mega T-Tar and Excadrill. Mystical Fire was there for Tangrowth. Diamond Storm was there for Volcarona. I just ran leftover set, and then we got. I went minus speed, but I put 4 into speed just because I knew that he would bring Tangrowth. Well, he could bring Tangrowth, and then he would probably be minus speed nature too, so I just ran a little bit of speed so I can outspeed it. Get those Mystical Fires off, obviously. Next up, we got Rotom Wash, just kind of max HP and then some defensive stuff in there. I ran Volt Switch, Hydro Toxic, and Pain Split. And next up, we got Beware, just the Choice Band Fluffy set. I just had Close Combat, Double Edge Earthquake, and Darkest Lariat. And then, so this is my primary T-Tar check, so I could switch in on it and then hopefully just kill it with close combat. And then, yeah, I just ran a lot of attack and then some defense and whatnot. And last up, we got Hoopa Unbound. I ran an Expert Belt set with Hyperspace Fury, Gunk Shot, Drain Punch, and Dark Pulse. So the reason I ran, 2 Dark moves and one of them is even special, so he does have Tangrowth. And if he's not running Assault Vest on the Tangrowth, then I know Dark Pulse is going to be doing a lot more than even stuff like Gunshot. Actually, Gunshot might have been able to do more with the Expert Belt, but the Dark Pulse is it's more reliable than Gunshot for one, and they both still 2-shot a Tangrowth anyways. So yeah, and then last move was just Drain Punch, so I could try to deal with the Excadrill, try to switch in or run, or just if I could switch it on Mega T-Tar as well, Drain Punch would just demolish it as well. Well, not demolish it, but it would do a lot of damage. So yeah, that's the team, and let's get into the replay real quick. Let me switch scenes. Okay. So looking at the matchup, he's got his triple regen core, and then he's got Excadrill, T-Tar, and Volcarona. Looking at the lead, I was like, okay, Beedrill just completely should be able to get a completely free just Mega Evolution. So I was like, okay, sure, let's just go for it, right? Sorry, the music was on. My bad. Anyway, so he led Tangrowth as I led Mega B. So interesting play. I just was like, okay, I'm just gonna go for U-turn. I get that good damage. He goes to Slowking, and then I just go for the U-turn. And then here I realize wow, this thing is this thing is freaking maxed. He's max HP, max defense Slowking. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go for Hoopa. Yeah, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go for Hyperspace Fury. Unfortunately, he has Colbur Berry, and then he actually had Foul Play on his Mon and was able to just one-shot me right off the bat. So that was pretty bad on my end. I kind of knew he was Colbur Berry, but I was kind of afraid of just going to something like Landorus instead, because he might have Ice Beam. and like I don't. To be fair, I probably still should have been able to KO a Sloping Galar in one hit with Landorus, so I should have just went for Earthquake anyways. But yeah, I probably should have went to Lando here. In retrospect, that was kind of a if I knew because since I was thinking he was Cobra, I shouldn't have risked it. Because he might have some weird tech like Foul Play for my Hoopa. So yeah. I guess to go back into Beedrill here, I go for the knockoff just in case Excadrill tries to come in here, and then I get the knockoff. Turns out he was Adrenaline Orb, and later we found out he's back at Rise, so he was able to try to like 1v1 my Landorus Therian if my Landorus Therian came in unable to Intimidate. So pretty cool tech on his end, but unfortunately he lost it kind of immediately. So I know Drill Run gets to kill here now, so I just go for Drill Run anyways. Most Tangrowth, I'm just going to go for U-turn, get a nice, 58%. I sack my Rotom to Sleep Powder because I kind of... Like, Rotom is pretty nice here, but it's not necessary, per se. And plus, I need everything else to be awake. Otherwise, like, I could lose, like, my primary Excadrill check, or I can lose my primary Volcarona check. So I just kind of was like, I let Rotom go to sleep. It's better for it to go to sleep than anything else. So, yeah. I double into Bewear here as he goes into T-Tar. Obviously, I'm just going to go for close combat here. I forget that Slowking Galar 4 times resist fighting, though, so that does only 16%, unfortunately. And I didn't want to risk the next roll, so I just go into Diancie here as he goes back into Tangrowth. I think I just hard double here, but oh no, I just go for Mystical Fire immediately. So yeah, T-Tar takes like nothing because it's in sand and it's, a T-Tar. He goes for the Iron Defense here. I'm like, I know this is body press. Even if it kills me, I don't care because I need the chip on the T-Tar to make sure it doesn't become a threat. And plus, P-Ware's primary purpose was just to make sure Tyranitar was gonna not sweep me. So, I just still go for close combat. Turns out he was actually counter, as you can see here. I think body press still would have killed me anyways, but leaving T-Tar at 3% means that it can't sweep me anymore, so I'm fine with that. He goes for the counter, obviously kills me. But like, look how good Mecha Beedrill is here. Slowking is very chipped. Tangrowth doesn't want to switch in on Poison Jab or U-turn. Excadrill's low. Volcarona doesn't want to switch in on Poison Jab. Like, Beedrill is like in a very, very good position right now, so I was fine with this. I think I just go for U-turn. I just go into Landorus here, and then I'm just gonna go for the U-turn here to get pivots. He just goes for Magnum Rise, but U-turn's able to take it out anyway, so just dies. Bring back in the Mega B. He goes back into Tangrowth. I just go for U-turn here. I go to Landorus, predicting like an Earthquake or Rock Slide, and I get the Earthquake. Here I think I go for knockoff as he goes to Audino. I didn't want to risk any Ice Beam shenanigans from the Audino, so I just go for U-turn. Earthquake would have done about like 40%, so it would have, done a lot of it. And he goes back into Tangrowth here as I get up Rocks. Rocks are pretty good on my end, honestly, because, well, first off, now Tyranitar's dead, and then keeping the Regenerator monster chipped down is really good for me. I just decided to go for Mystical Fire here, but he actually is full physical with Power Whip, so that does a lot of damage, unfortunately for me. I just decided to go into... I just decided to sack Diancie, because I know that Landorus is at full, so it's able to check Volcarona as well as Diancie. So, and since Diancie's already so chipped, like, I can't really use it to check it anymore. So I just decided to go for Mystical Fire again to get the chip down, to just chip down Tangrowth. He goes back to it, and, same logic applies here. I just, like, I need to get it down as much as possible. Send it back down to 55%, which is actually really shitty, because, the first roll, I got 46%, and then the next roll I got 55%, so I got a really low roll in the first one at least, so that's kind of sad. Anyway, go back to Beedrill. Look how good it is right now, so I'm just going for Poison Jab, I don't give a fuck. And then I just go for knockoff here on the off chance he tries to, well, I Poison Jab first, and then I knock off again on the off chance that the Slowking Galar tries to come in to get some health. I said no sir, go for knockoff, now it's back at 4%, it's even worse off now. I just go for Poison Jab again, because that was gonna kill anything pretty much. So yeah, looking at Mega B, it's looking really good. I go into the Landorus here and here on the Quiver Dance. So yeah, obviously I go for Stone Edge here because I kind of have to. Does some decent damage to Tangrowth, puts it in range of a U-turn, so he switches on to Slowking. I just go back. Yeah, okay, I just go back into Beedrill, and I'm just gonna go for Poison Jab to take it out. Volcarona comes back in. I'm just gonna go hard back into Landorus. I know I can take any +1 fire move from it and then kill it with Stone Edge. So you know we're all good then, right? We're all good. We're all good. And that was the moment I lost the game. So unfortunately for me, Stone Edge decides to be a bitch, and then I miss. So yeah, I kind of just lose there. My only real hope now is the hope Rotom wakes up first turn and crits a Hydro Pump, so I just go for that. He goes for Curve Dance again, and then unfortunately Giga Drain will take me out though. So yeah, I lose there, unfortunately for me. Kinda sucks, but you know, that's Pokemon, so I do. This is the first match I end up losing. I lose 2-0. So very sad. Kinda should have still been undefeated, and I kinda wanted Bijo to get like 5 kills, but you know, it happens. It just happens sometimes. It happens to me more often than other people. But you know what happens? It happens. I should have run Rock Slide. It's all my fault. Don't worry about it. In all fairness, though, I should have run Rock Slide because that would have still killed Volcarona. It's more accurate. So like, why didn't I run Rock Slide? And plus, Rock Slide was literally only for Volcarona. So like, who cares? Like, I guess that was a misplay on my end. But still, like, seriously, I have to miss Stone Edge on like. I could have missed Stone Edge on the Tangrowth. That was fine with that one. I had to miss Stone Edge on the Volcarona. Like seriously. Anyway, GG's to my opponent. You know, I wouldn't say he deserved the win, but he definitely played really well and he had a lot of good techs. No, he definitely deserved the win. Like even if I missed Stone Edge, he definitely deserved it. He prepped a lot more than I did, honestly, because he had like that Magnet Riser, Journal Orb, Extra. He's got that Iron Defense, T-Tar, you know, all that type of stuff. So like really like, you know, he prepped more than me. He deserved to win, even though the Stone Edge miss is gonna affect me for the next like 3 weeks, by the way. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully I won't lose the next games. Especially for a miss. But yeah, I will see you guys the next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.